Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, DVD and Blu-ray sales have plummeted in 2024, falling below $1 billion in sales. It's a massive drop. We'll tell you what's happening with DVD and Blu-rays. Also, the Roku channel is adding 10 new free channels for its streaming player. And to round up our top 3 biggest stories, a lot more to cover, there's a $42.5 billion government program that's received a lot of criticism for not actually connecting anyone in rural America. Now they're about to make big changes to it, allowing SpaceX and other satellite internet services to be included in this plan to make Starlink internet and other plans cheaper for rural Americans. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. If you want to learn more about any of these stories, I'll put a link to each story down in the show notes and in the first pinned comment so you can read them for yourself. I'd love to hear from you and what your opinions are. If you're new here, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. With that said, let's dive into it. Now, for years, and quite a few years, we've seen DVD and Blu-ray sales plummet. Now, streaming is a big part of that. I think some of it also has to be that not as many shows are on DVD anymore. You don't see complete seasons of shows for every TV show out there like you used to, though a lot of them still do. But in 2024, total revenue from Blu-ray and DVD sales fell below $1 billion, as overall sales of Blu-rays and DVDs dropped a staggering 23.4% in 2024. This is continued falling of it. And while there's a lot of diehard fans that love Blu-rays and DVDs, for one, you have it, no commercials. You don't have to worry about it disappearing from a digital catalog, or like Redbox, we learned, if you buy something from Redbox, maybe it vanishing if the company goes out of business. But with Blu-rays and DVDs, you got a little bit more security. You own it in your hand. But that hasn't seemed to work very well to turn the tide of the ever-falling DVD and Blu-ray sales. And I think a big part of that is for most people, unless there's a show you really love, you don't rewatch a show or a movie that much. And so a one and done on a streaming service, hey, I watched the new James Bond movie, enjoyed it, but I'll be honest, never going to go back and probably rewatch it. And I'm probably not alone in many of those thoughts. Though I will say in my house, King of the Hill is a much loved TV show that often gets replayed just as background TV when we're trying to do something around the house. Keep a close eye on this. We've seen Target and Best Buy either completely eliminate DVD and Blu-ray sales or make them seasonal or dramatically shrink them. Walmart, it's one of the few big box retailers still heavily invested in DVDs and Blu-rays. We'll have to keep a close eye on this and see how it plays out. But DVD and Blu-ray sales. Question for you for question of the day. When's the last time you bought a brand new from the store DVD or Blu-ray? Let me know. All right, Roku channel, Roku's free ad-supported streaming service. It's available on more than just Roku TVs and Roku players. Has added 10 new channels. And with this, we got Laugh TV, Scary Flicks, Sci-Fi Favorites, True Love, Exploration, and more, all added to the Roku channel. 10 new ones in total. Not a ton of big name channels being added this time, but there's a nice selection of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, high impact stuff, high energy actions and stunts. I have to check out that channel. And comedy related content now available on the Roku channel for the first time. Link in the show notes if you want to learn more on that. If you live in rural America and you've been struggling to get high-speed internet options, there's good news. Now, there's a government program, and for about 3 years now has had $42.5 billion to bring high-speed internet to rural Americans. It had focused exclusively on wired communication mostly. So fiber and copper from cable companies, and like mostly fiber options to rural Americans. Though sadly, very little has actually come of this. Very little people have been connected, and a lot of the money is still just sitting there unused as there's so much red tape in it. Now the Federal Commerce Department is making changes. One of the big changes here is previously satellite internet services like SpaceX's Starlink, but also Amazon's new one that's coming later this year and next year is going to be a big part of this now. You'll now be able to use some of these funds for Starlink, for example, allowing rural Americans to more quickly get online with probably, I think the big thing this will bring is discounted plans and, more importantly, discounted hardware. Some of the biggest costs of this is that. So this could be $10 to $20 billion moved over to satellite services with this, allowing Americans to more rapidly get online. I'm a big fan of rural Americans getting internet. I still think that 5G home internet is a great option for this. Also, I hope a lot of attention is paid to that. I think Starlink and others are great. I know people who live in Alaska who talk a lot about how Starlink has connected a lot of the rural villages who previously had pretty much no internet options, now are online and changing the way of life out there in Alaska. And I hope that does the same to many other places. So it's very interesting to see this. I know it's a hot topic. I'm not going to get in the political side of this. I'm just going to report what's happening with this deal. All right, next up. Do you have a dog? Do you want to leave the TV on sometimes when you're gone? Well, there's a new network dedicated to dogs launching in 80 markets free over the air. Now, this is streaming for free on a variety of free over there programs called Bark TV. But now they're making a launch in 80 markets to have it available free with an antenna over the air TV exclusively made for dogs, allowing you to watch have your dogs watch some TV maybe while you're gone if you don't want them to feel alone. You can find out more about this and find on their website the list of the markets over in our show notes and in the first pinned comment. Check out the story there. You know, about a week ago we talked about Plex adding a ton of new NBC channels to it. Well, now they've made this official. Plex and NBC yesterday announced a joint venture that would bring a ton of NBC Universal content to Plex. And a lot of these we've already covered. They've been on there for a few weeks. They just announced it. For some reason, they decided to wait a few weeks after they actually went live to make that announcement. But the SNL Vault, Bravo Vault, Keeping Up With, Oxygen True Crime Archives, Top Chef Vault, Golf Pass, NBC Sports Now, Dateline 24/7, American Crimes, and some local NBC news stations like New York, Dallas, Boston, Washington, Bay Area, and more are now all available through Plex. If you want to see a full list, there's quite a few channels included here. I didn't cover all of them. Check out the show notes. But if you're a Plex user, you probably have already seen these live for over a week now. All right, let's keep moving along. T-Mobile got a ton of freebies for its customers. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, because I've gotten a lot of questions. Do T-Mobile 5G home internet customers qualify for T-Mobile Tuesday discounts, which can include things on discounts on gas, movies, dining, travel, and more. Recently, you can even get a free Slurpee from 7-Eleven and Speedways. Add it with this. Yes, T-Mobile 5G home internet does include all this. And even if you're a wireless plan customer, most of them do include this too. Now, the one catch here is free Netflix is not included with the 5G home internet. You need to be on select wireless plans to get the free Netflix with this. But you can get things like buy one, get one Crazy Pups at Little Caesars, 10 cents off per gallon at Shell gas stations, dining rewards 10% back, travel discounts up to 40% off hotels and car rentals, and a whole lot more available through it if you're a T-Mobile customer. Link in the show notes if you want to learn more about that, but maybe one more reason to try out T-Mobile's 5G home internet. You ready to feel a little old? Today's TV history. This one kind of shocked me. The Osbournes, the MTV reality TV show that kind of kicked off a wave of reality TV shows following families, the Kardashians and others, and a whole bunch of others. First premiered 23 years ago this week. How is that even possible? I can say I never really watched it. I definitely caught little bits of it and seen highlights and different things. But when I was researching it, it's one of the first very successful reality shows to focus on a family and has led to many others coming out like it on different places. So we'll keep an eye on that. But let me know, were you a fan of the Osbournes on MTV? I'm probably butchering that name. I apologize. And in our last story up of the day, Fox plans to launch its new streaming service, bringing live sports and live news to subscribers before the start of the college football and NFL football season. This comes from Fox's CEO speaking at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference in San Francisco this week. Said that he hopes to get this new service off before the start of the NFL season. I also think the new ESPN service will probably come out around the same time. Now, the hope here is that it will attract subscribers who want to get sports and news but don't really care about the rest. This will include reportedly sports from Fox Sports and news from Fox News and Fox Business included in it. Details are very thin. Pricing and all kinds of stuff are unknown. It doesn't even have an official name yet. It only got a CEO a couple weeks ago. So we're probably still far away from getting some of these big details that we still need. But there you go. There's the highlights of the news from the past 24 hours. If you like what we do here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both really helps us. We'll be back this weekend with more videos. I got a lot of great content coming to you this weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with another Cord Cutting Today. Thank you to everybody for your support. To the almost 2,000 new subscribers in the last week, welcome. It's good to have you here. Take care, everybody. Be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.